Thanks for hitting the rewind button with us tonight. We're going back into the sewers for some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles discussion. I'm Dal, this is Dan, and this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
They're back in an awesome new movie.
Didn't we see these guys on WrestleMania?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze. Rated PG.
So a little over a year ago, or I guess technically a year ago, you and I kicked off this podcast by revisiting Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
We've already been doing this podcast for a year? Oh my gosh.
I know, where does time go? One of my favorite movies, not one of your favorite movies, but number 2 was.
Yes, I am a much bigger fan of number 2, despite it not maybe being critically acclaimed by moviegoers and fans alike for whatever stupid reason. I do highly enjoy this one. Out of the original trilogy, this was my favorite.
Yeah, Roger Ebert didn't like it at all. So this was your favorite one, huh?
This was.
Was it just because you got the mutants fighting other mutants?
Yes.
Was it that was the only
That's
reason?
all there is to it. I got one big box to check off, and that is monsters fighting monsters. If you got that going, then you're way ahead of the game for me.
Yeah, I'm coming to know that about you. The more we talk about the cartoons and the comic books and the other things that we enjoyed growing up, I watched a lot of shows that had monsters in them, but many of my favorites were just like the random adventure shows where it seems like yours were always the let's fight the monsters.
Yeah. Well, for instance, I always got upset if I ever see a Godzilla movie or a Hulk movie where they don't fight another monster. To me, is a complete failure. It's like, why bother making this unless you have them fighting other monsters? I don't want to see the Hulk fight the army. I don't want to see Godzilla fight the army.
Right.
I want to see them fight other monsters.
Right. Yeah. So those were always
Same with the turtles. We got monster turtle people. I want to see them fighting other monster mutagen creatures of all walks of life. I mean, they have a whole TV show, a whole comic book, a whole toy line of never-ending like monster characters. Like, just have them fight at least one of them.
It's a shame we didn't get to see them take on more of the monster characters in the movies. I really wish the third one wouldn't have been a time travel.
I'm okay with the time travel if they had just had them fighting some mutant, or not even a mutant. If you read the comics, you know, they don't just fight mutants; they fight magical beings, aliens.
Yeah.
If the third movie just had them fighting some kind of old
Japanese,
like Dragon Man,
yeah,
or just something mythical, something magical, I would have been cool with that too. I just wanted them to just go totally out on some other monster from that period during their time traveling adventure. If they had done that, I would like that a lot more. But as of today, I think I've only seen the movie once, and that was enough for me. The third movie, that is.
Yeah, I think I've only watched it maybe twice, and one of those times is when I bought the DVD set and was like, "Yeah, I remember why I didn't ever watch this again." Yeah, you're right. There could have been what was the rabbit character's name? Usagi Jimbo?
Yeah.
Was that his name?
Something like that.
That would have been a great monster.
Would have been
villain.
But the thing is, he's not originally a Ninja Turtle creation. He is another independent comic book creator's creation who happened to be friends with Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and he allowed them to use him in the cartoon and make an action figure. And
so there was some rights issues there.
Yeah, so he might have allowed them to make a movie, but who knows? He might have already given the rights to some other company to produce the movie for that character or something. That's why they couldn't use him.
Wasn't there a panda toy or something?
There was
too?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the character, but there was.
Yeah, I don't know. That could have been a villain in that movie or something. And like you said, I think there was there a dragon toy?
In my head, I can picture some dragon bad guy action figure or something. So I'm pretty sure there was.
Yeah, that or a snake figure. Maybe it was both.
I mean, this line was so massive, and they made a monster out of
just about everything.
I mean, there was a character that was a mutant giraffe man. So I'm sure there had to have been like a mutant giraffe, anything else you could think of that was in the toy line.
But anyway, we digress a little bit. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. It hit theaters on March 22nd, 1991. Just under a year. A whole year hasn't even passed yet from when Ninja Turtles hit theaters. I think they hit theaters in what, August?
I couldn't say. I know I saw this in theaters,
Yeah,
but I couldn't tell you I remember when I saw it in theaters.
gotcha. Well, March 22nd, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 hits theaters. I was in the theater for that on, I don't know if it was opening weekend or not, but definitely made it out to the theatrical run of that one. One of my earliest movie-going memories is seeing the original 1991 in theaters. This was a fun romp for me even as a kid, but even as a kid, it wasn't as powerful as the first one was for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because they didn't use their weapons as much, and instead they're using yo-yos and sausages and stuff like that when they're fighting bad guys.
I mean, as a kid, I didn't notice.
You didn't notice? Okay.
Well, see, let's talk about that. So that's something that really bugged me when I was reading about the reception to this movie. So people were, or some people were upset because it wasn't as dark or as gritty or as serious, let's say, as the first movie. But it's the Ninja Turtles. And guess what? While Ninja Turtles was a popular comic book, it was this colorful, wacky toy line, and it was the colorful, child-friendly cartoon series that brought it into the mainstream. That's how people knew
Right.
it. That's how people expected it. So anyone who's complaining about how, "Oh, this wasn't as serious as the first one," it's like,
Did it need to be?
I didn't. It's like, how serious do you need it to be? It's about the title alone, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can make it serious, but but it works perfectly the other way too. So I just don't understand why people have to harp on that so much. Because
Yeah.
what are they? I mean, unless you were reading the comic, I can understand that, but the majority of people weren't. So I don't
Yeah,
see
I
like
wasn't
what
at the
they
time,
were.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was a fun movie. It picks up in the aftermath of I don't know how much time has passed
not
since.
much because Shredder was just digging his way out of the trash
Yeah.
heap that he was left in.
So it starts off right after Shredder has been crushed seemingly in a garbage truck and taken to the junkyard, I guess, which is also where the Foot Clan has been
Coincidentally,
instructed.
right?
Yeah, has been instructed to meet up if they ever get disbanded or arrested. And so the Shredder comes back, but he comes back almost in like the second act of the movie. The whole first act is pizza product placement, introduction of Kino. The turtles we find out, have been living with April in her new apartment
Yeah.
while they search for a new place. And as Donatello puts in this mark, it is hard to find good subterranean housing.
Well, in this market, it's actually very difficult to find good subterranean housing.
The hideout that they find in this one, it was the
Subway car,
the
yeah.
abandoned City Hall subway station. I thought that was a great set.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, that was pretty awesome. That was the kind of hideout that I was hoping would actually translate into the cartoon or wherever else that they were telling the adventures of the turtles, because I just thought that was a really awesome looking set.
I agree. It's a shame we did get to see it again in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, but it felt like there was so much more they could have explored with just that set piece
Yeah.
and adventures that takes place.
And it's definitely a lot less gross than you would think of when you think of the sewer.
Right.
Because you don't think of the subway quite the same as you would the sewer. They're kind of the same almost, but not quite.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles II. The Secret of the Ooze.
Don't forget, we're turtles!
The title of the movie is also The Secret of the Ooze, so we get to learn more about the Ooze and the company responsible for making the mutagen that transformed the turtles. And it's kind of sad and depressing too, because Donatello's got this moment where he's coming to terms with the fact that this juice that led to their creation was accidentally created and accidentally dumped, and there was no meaningful reason for his existence. So they had this kind of really deep subplot that just kind of gets wrapped up in Michelangelo's silliness, and then Shredder wanting to create new mutants using the one canister.
Yeah, one canister, yeah.
Of remaining mutagen. And we almost got to see Bebop and Rocksteady, but instead they made it Toka and Razor, a snapping turtle and a wolf cub.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I think most kids were expecting Bebop and Rocksteady, but we didn't get them. What little bit of research I had done on Wikipedia and the Incorrect Movie Database,
The Incorrect Movie Database.
yeah, and Wikipedia. So it says that Peter Laird and Kevin Eastman, but especially Peter Laird, he was the one named, pushed against them because they those guys were already goofs in the cartoon, and they kind of wanted to expand the universe and bring in new characters, and which I'm okay with. But as a kid, I was just so confused because it's like, well, I don't understand why couldn't Bebop Rock like we get to
Yeah.
see live action versions of everybody else from the cartoon. Why not Bebop and Rocksteady?
Yeah, I agreed. And then if they're worried about them being bumbling goofs, like that's what these characters are.
Oh,
So
yeah.
how many bumbling goofs do we need in the Turtles universe?
I don't know. All the henchmen have to be goofs, or else it'd be too much of a threat that would scare the kids.
I guess you're right.
Num nums. Oh, yes. Num nums.
We also get to see a lot of Vanilla Ice, particularly one song, the Ninja Rap.
Again, like I said, Wikipedia, Incorrect Movie Database. I found on Wikipedia that there was some, it's got to be bullshit information, but somebody put on there that the person who wrote Ninja Rap was Frank Miller.
Interesting.
I don't think it's true, though. I went over to the Incorrect Movie Database, and he's not listed as the guy who wrote the song on there.
Okay.
But somebody on Wikipedia put down that Frank Miller wrote Ninja Rap, and I was like, I don't know. No.
Yeah, I had never heard that. I didn't catch that, and I didn't really.
It could
look
be removed and
to-
taken off Wikipedia by this point.
Yeah.
But
When I rewatched it in anticipation of this podcast, I didn't remember that much of the final act taking place in the nightclub, which also happens to be right next door, like a wall of the room they have in the trash dump goes right into the nightclub, which is magically right on the docks of, I guess, the Hudson
no,
River.
they started at a construction site, not the dump.
So they had moved from.
Yeah. They first fought them at the dump, I believe.
Yeah.
But then afterward, they met them at a location, which was at the construction site, and that's where they tried to trick them into eating the antidote that would reverse their mutation.
With inside
And
the
that led
donuts.
through, and that led over into the nightclub, which was next to the docks.
Okay, I guess I got distracted in my rewatching, and they were back where they.
No.
interacted
They
with
met
before.
them. They met them to fight at a different location, which was that construction site.
Okay, well, okay. I'm not as good a movie watcher as I was when I was 6 years old, so there's that.
Oh, there's a lot less distractions at 6 years old.
Yeah,
compared to nowadays when you're an adult with a mortgage and a car payment and a 9-to-5 job and a spouse and animals you got to take care of and lawns that have to be cut. And
lots of things vying for your attention, especially when it's a movie you've probably watched 100 times, and again, just doesn't hold up. Like I can sit and watch frame by frame the first one anytime. I don't know what it is about this one. Maybe it's because the turtles, they just look a little. The suits are still great,
yeah,
but they're just more happy looking and a little lighter and sillier. And the colors of the headbands are brighter.
well, again, that's fine by me. That's how they are in the cartoon. So
Right,
I had no
right.
problem with. It's like if that's what I enjoy in the cartoon, why can't I enjoy it in the live action adaptation?
That's true. I get your argument, but it just didn't have that same gravitas for me as the ones in the first one did.
Okay. I'm only making this face because every time you talk about that, I think back to our discussion of the first movie where I, in great detail, went through how there was really no story in the first one because there was no character development on anybody's part except for that one random foot soldier. And here, at least, they have a little bit more for each character. I mean, they're all going through a little something. They're all going through a little bit of a loss and rebuilding and feeling like they got some business that needs to be completed with the Shredder back in town and that whole their place in the world with the discovery of the mutagen and their origin.
Does Leonardo really have any character arc in this at all? I don't feel like
Well, I kind
he
of group
does.
him in with that whole we're trying to find our place in the world with the discovery of the mutagen thing.
The one in this one that really has the most character journey is Kino, who was a stunt performer for what, Donatello in the
Yeah,
first one,
yeah.
and then he got added on as a character. He's a pizza delivery boy who stumbles upon, I guess, this burglary happening in a subterranean shopping center. The Ninja Turtles come, stop the bad guys, and then he gets invited somehow to try out for the Foot Clan.
Well, that was him going undercover.
Right.
So he went to audition to be a foot soldier when he was working with Raph in order to infiltrate the Shredder's plans and figure out like what he was doing.
How does one find out that the Foot Clan is recruiting? Like,
Well, they were kind of everywhere in the first movie, weren't they? They're almost like standing on street corners and trying to get people into joining their gang, weren't they?
right, but at least then they had a cool like arcade skating rink hangout place with
Hey, you
Burger
want to come
King
hang out in a
Whoppers.
dump?
Yeah, all right. Like,
Join our gang. We live in a dump.
what's the allure there?
You like junk? Got plenty of it. Come join us.
It's gonna stink too.
Smash what you like. Nobody cares.
Why did I let you tuck me into this? Give it a chance.
Let's talk about the good things. That opening scene makes me want to slice a pizza every time I see it. It's got to be the best pizza product placement scene because in every shot, somebody's eating a slice of Roy's pizza,
Yeah.
and that cheese pull on everything that they eat is just fantastic. It's like perfectly melty and it just
Stringy.
stringy. I don't know what they're doing to pizzas in movies that make them look like that, but
Oh my god, they're probably really inedible, just like food products and commercials, like how they always talk about milk is really glue in cereal commercials.
yeah, there must be some glue or something in that cheese, especially in the one shot with the girl who like the whole thing just
Some chemical compound
Yeah.
of just gack.
yeah.
New York, a city where 8 million can scarf down their slices in safety, knowing that when pizza is close by, help is never far away.
The pizza cutaways, the B-roll of the pizzas, highlight of the movie for me. How about you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What was one of your favorite scenes? Or do you have a favorite scene in this movie?
The mutants fighting mutants. I can't say that enough times. I finally get to see the turtles actually fight other monsters. What I did not like, however, is this version of Shredder, the Kevin Nash Super Shredder that shows up at the end after he drinks some mutagen to beef himself up to fight the turtles.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. I love the look, and that was my favorite Shredder figure growing up. I find it ridiculous that his costume mutates along with him, even though
Right.
that makes zero sense. But I was more upset that he doesn't get to fight the turtles.
Yeah.
He just barely gets started, and he becomes his own worst enemy when he knocks down the docks on top of his own self.
Yeah, like you think like since the mutagen advanced the turtles' brains in such a way that it would do the same for a full-grown man, and he would be much smarter and like super villain, but instead he's just this bumbling supersized oaf who doesn't realize that he's going to bring down this whole structure on top of him.
I mean, you got a point. I never thought of it that way, but at the same time, it was simply bringing animals more to our level of intelligence. So I don't know if it was ever going to make a person more intelligent, but that's an interesting point. I never thought about that before. But overall, that was the biggest disappointment for me. Is as much as I loved this design,
Yeah.
and this happening to the character, I just hated that he didn't get a chance to actually throw some turtles around.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that boss fight too, because it felt like, all right, we're gonna get that video game boss fight between, and the fight between Shredder and the turtles in the first movie was good.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a fine fight. Yeah.
Yeah, for the boss fight. So this time I thought, okay, they're really gonna level up, and we're gonna see something really cool. Not so much. I didn't like you said, the Super Shredder was really cool looking. The design for the Shredder costume, where he takes the helmet and grinds the little saw blade look into it. The helmet just looks really silly throughout the movie. Anytime you see it, it's like super high, almost like he's a dinosaur or something. Just doesn't look nearly as clean and menacing as it did in the first movie.
Well, yeah, because it ran through a trash compactor.
Well, yeah, but seems like he could have fashioned a new one or
He
done
doesn't have that much
something.
time. He's got to get revenge.
Yeah, but what is he doing when he's just hanging out in the trash dump while the other guys are doing whatever they're doing? You
Probably
know,
making foot soldiers kiss. Kiss. Just flexing those powers. See what he can get away with.
The next fight will be freak against freak.
what kind of highlights did you have that you wanted to bring to the table?
That was, I think, pretty much it. Only other thing I really got to say about this movie is when you were watching it as a kid, did you not, when you're a kid and you watch things, you don't always associate the right things with what you're perceiving on screen. For instance, I have memories of watching The Running Man as a little kid with the Schwarzenegger movie. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, maybe because I saw a G.I. Joe cartoon that was very similar to Running Man, like Cobrathon or something, that episode where they're put in these life and death situations where the character or the bad guys are gambling on their surviving or not. But I perceived the characters in Running Man to be G.I. Joe characters. So I was treating it like it was a G.I. Joe movie where I thought Schwarzenegger was Duke and I thought the black guy was Roadblock and I thought the guy with glasses was Lifeline and I thought the bad guys were like Cobra agents. So when I watched Ninja Turtles 2, I'm not paying attention so much to the names and whatnot, but I was thinking David Warner, who's playing Professor Jordan Perry.
Baxter Stockman.
I thought he was Baxter Stockman as a
yeah,
kid. And,
yeah.
and then he never turns into a fly or anything. It's like, oh, man, but I was really hoping for that.
I kind of got the same idea when I was a kid, like, oh, he's going to be the Baxter Stockman character. No, not so much. And then who else was in the I didn't really know where Kino was going to go, but I thought he was going to have a little bit of a different, he was going to betray the turtles or something in the film. And
Really?
well, at least watching it back now, I don't know what I thought as a kid, but I thought there was a missed opportunity for that in this movie to have him go to the other side after all or something. For me, I'm surprised there's not a actual pizza place tie-in for this one. Because in the first one, you got the Domino's pizza placement.
Yeah.
And the Ninja Turtles were all over Pizza Hut, and every Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie since has had some kind of Pizza Hut product placement. They used real Roy's Pizza in the shots, but I was surprised there wasn't actually something that, with all the other marketing that was happening, and there wasn't like a product like, oh, this is the Super Shredder Pizza or something that you'd see the turtles enjoy and get to actually go get yourself.
I don't know. Maybe the price is just too high. Maybe they were so successful the first movie, they just set a price that was just too high for somebody to obtain and use for the second movie.
And I guess it was also the time that the Coming Out of Our Shells tour was still going on, and Pizza Hut was sponsoring that.
Yeah, it could be something like that going on too. Yeah.
We didn't really get a lot of great promotional tie-ins out of this movie like we did in the first one. We talked about in our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles foods episode, the only real food product tie-in was for the Royal Gelatin tie-in, where different flavors of gelatin had different photos of turtles on the boxes, and they had a recipe where you could make your own ooze drink, which we tried. So yeah, that was kind of disappointing looking back. The only real products we got out of it were the action figure line of the movie star Turtles, but they didn't come out for a year later.
Yeah, I remember the turtle figures that were based on the movie always looked a little strange with the paint job because they added the little
dots all
over them.
Which I guess they had some of that, but it wasn't nearly as pronounced. And you saw it more so in the third movie, I feel like, than in any of the others. Fun movie. Like I said, I wish the Turtles just felt like they did in the first movie. Maybe part of it was because new voice actors. There's a new voice actor for Donatello. I believe there was a different one for Raphael also.
I think so. Yeah.
And he just sounded like a grumpy old New Yorker. I mean, he did in the first one too, but more so in this one. And then Donatello without what was his name? Corey Feldman. I don't know, just brought something that the voice actor who I don't even know when I looked at his name in the credits, I had no idea who he was. I didn't look him up either because I wasn't that interested. But there was just some kind of little spark that wasn't there. I still wish with Donatello we'd get more out of him. We got to see a little bit more of his personality as he's working with David Warner in this movie, but we still didn't really get to see his. He does machines as the theme song from the cartoon tells us. Really get to see him shine in his role as the tech guy.
Yeah.
I don't know if we got to see that in any of the live action movies. I can't remember if we do.
Well, he worked with the scientists to come up with the antidote for reversing the mutation of Token and Razar.
Well, yeah. He did that, but I mean, it felt like there could have been a little more exploration of that, and I don't know. I was always a Donatello fan, so I always wanted him to have a little bit more of a something to do in the movies. Ninja Turtles 2, is it a movie you'd go back to the theater to watch?
Yeah, I think so.
For the sake of nostalgia, I think it'd be fun to see it on the big screen one more time. We talked about the good, the bad, the ugly.
You take the ugly one.
No, you take the ugly one. I'll take the ugly one.
Oh, which one's the ugly one?
Were there any disappointments you had in the movie?
Just the thing I mentioned already about Shredder not having an actual fight with the Turtles at the end once he became Super Shredder.
I guess that's it. The good, bad, and the ugly of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Turning 35 this year, headed back to the big screen. There was some talk for a while about a live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin film that was going to bring back Suits and what's her name? Judith Hoag who played April O'Neil in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on the shelf again now. Stuck in development limbo. Would you be interested in seeing a modern spin on the Ninja Turtles where characters are back in the suits in action?
Sure. I mean, I have no problem watching that. I've seen I was about to say, have I seen all the Turtle movies? I have not. I've only seen the original trilogy. You and I saw both Bay movies together.
Yep.
We saw the
Mutant Mayhem
together. Those are the only movies I've seen, and I've only caught a hand. I've seen the entire original cartoon series.
Yep.
I've only seen a handful of episodes of that series around 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I watched some of the 2003 series also. Did you watch
Next Mutation? I saw all of Next Mutation.
Where they're in the suits there.
The TV show where they're in the suits and have the crossover with Power Rangers in space.
I watched a few of those also. I think at that point when that actually hit TV, I was kind of aging out of my first Ninja Turtle run. Because I think that was like toward the late 90s, right? Maybe 96, 98.
Oh, yeah. That was like around that was around 99.
Okay, so yeah, late 90s. So I was kind of aging out of my first Ninja Turtle run then. I still watched a few episodes. And it was great to see actors in the suits, but it was such low budget.
Yeah, it had a different mentality to it. So kind of brought a different tolerance for what they're. It's always weird when you're so used to one thing being a certain way, and then you see somebody bring something a little different. But after decades of seeing it happen, it's not quite as big a deal as it was back then.
Right.
It's kind of like when, like Turtles. It's like you were so used to seeing the original cartoon series that ran for 10 or 11 seasons.
Yeah, I think 87 to 94, I believe that first one ran.
And to go from that to watching Next Mutation, it took some adjusting. It's like, okay, this is kind of different from where we left things off. Or even to say when you jump from something like Transformers to Beast Wars.
Right.
Or the Sunbow G.I. Joe to the Deke G.I. Joe. I mean, there's just always this kind of adjustment you go through, or in the case of Batman, I remember when Batman the Animated Series went off the air, the next series that came out was a few years after called The Batman.
Right.
And you just had to kind of start over and relearn the characters all over again with, the origins and the bad guys and these new backstories, everybody.
These turtles mean business. We rock! That's because they're caught up in an entire week of all new adventures. And they're bursting out of their shells to bring you some old friends. Wow. And others they wish would never come back. It's a week of all new adventures with Ninja Turtles starting next Monday at 4 on Fox Kids.
Watch and be amazed.
It's an adjustment every time. And there's always something to like in each of those iterations. And there's just things that you're like, I missed that earlier thing.
Yeah.
But I guess that's we all have to grow, we all have to evolve, we all have to change, and the good thing is they're still making new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles content for
this isn't going away. They're going to reinvent it every 5 or 6 years for the next generation of kids that will carry it with them into their 50s, just like we did with the 80s version.
And I'll be there for it every time it happens with my wallet in hand, because that's just the way it goes.
The Turtles, they're only friendly. A rat. Trapped in a world that can never be theirs. You can bring them home. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, now on video cassette, rated PG.
Well, Dan, fun heading back into the sewers tonight to chat about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Kind of took it off the rails and into the mutagen, but it was a fun little chat, just kind of revisiting some of the things. We're going to talk about Ninja Turtles again soon, I'm sure, because it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. A lot more fun things ahead. Like we said, we're going to dive into the real Ghostbusters at some point. You mentioned G.I. Joe a few times tonight. I'd like us to dive into some of our favorite G.I. Joe characters of all time. And then I'm sure there's going to be some timely occurrences in 2026 that's going to make us want to dive back into the history book from the 80s and 90s and revisit some things that pop back up. In the meantime, thanks for hitting the rewind button. Like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Is it something you want to see on the big screen? And if you want to see our previous editions of the rewind button where we talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles foods, and various other topics, head on over to the rewindbutton.com.